Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. And it's getting tougher every single game to call them my favorite team, but I'm sticking through it. I've stuck through worse, I think. No, I've definitely stuck through worse. 1-15, that was worse. But it is tough, and it feels like we're closing in on the end of an era here for the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel was once considered the whiz kid, the wonder kid of the NFL, revolutionizing the passing game, and now has fallen to being really not great, not very great of a coach. He is outwardly undermining players, and now, especially so, with our quarterback Tua calling out teammates not showing up to a meeting that they were supposed to show up to. It's just ugly. I guess let's start with the game yesterday. The Dolphins lost to the Los Angeles Chargers, 29-27, in the last minute. So, what's most frustrating about this game is that the Dolphins actually scored with 46 seconds left to take the lead, 27-26. I think we all knew watching it from home that wasn't going to hold. This defense is not good enough to hold off even a banged up Chargers offense. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, Jalen Phillips, you got to get that sack, man. You have to make that sack. Unfortunately, he didn't make it and allowed the play to continue. Lad McConkey, I don't know, white boy with motion on the Chargers receiving core. He caught it, made a man miss, and basically won the game for the Chargers right there. Dolphins did have an opportunity to respond, and unfortunately, they were not able to. Instead, they threw an interception. And when I say Tua threw another interception, he had 3 interceptions yesterday. One wasn't his fault, probably Jalen Waddle's fault. The other 2, not good, not what you want from a highly paid player like Tua is. So, I guess we'll go over all of the frustrations in this game. Tua turning the ball over, that sucks. He's been especially prone to it this year. He's third in terms of interceptions already this season, and this just isn't the Tua that we were expecting when we paid him all this money, right? He has certainly regressed. Maybe it's injuries. I don't really know, but it's not what you want to see from a leader, from someone who's paid that much money, from your franchise quarterback. Whether you agree he should be a franchise quarterback or not, he's a Dolphins franchise quarterback. So that is extremely unfortunate to see, but you know, if their defense played better, it wouldn't be the case. However, it's just very frustrating for us fans to see how something's going to play out in this. We all knew that this team was not going to be good enough to handle other teams on defense, even with the Chargers banged up, missing a lot of their players. Like I said, it doesn't matter. We knew that the cornerbacks were going to be bad. I don't think we anticipated the defensive line being as bad as it is, especially when you have Chop Robinson not improving on last year. If anything, playing worse than he played last year. Jalen Phillips, I mean, it's great that he came back from his torn ACL, but missing sacks like that, what can you do? And, it's just frustrating because we knew that this defense was going to be a problem. Management just didn't believe it, I suppose. And instead, the really screwed the pooch here. And I don't think there's anything that they can really do to come back at this point. So then, the Dolphins lose 29-27. We have a post-game press conference. Tua notes that certain players, not saying who, but certain players relate to players only meaning, and I don't think that's great. I know that Mike McDaniel has started to kind of call people out in the media this season, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't think it's that great for him to do. And two is just following his lead there. But it's not great when reporters ask Mike McDaniel, like, okay, how do you feel about Tua making this comment? And he's like, well, not involved because it's a players only meeting thing. It's like, okay, that's probably not the answer that we want to see, but it does feel like people are starting to throw each other under the bus. And this is like the first step. I mean, 1-5 season's over. This is getting blown up. Will Mike McDaniel even survive this week? Who knows? I'm recording this at 4:21 Eastern Standard Time on Monday, October 13th. For all I know, Mike McDaniel is getting fired today, and it's being announced as I'm recording, which would suck, and I'd probably have to do another recording after. So if you see another recording, that's probably what it will be. But I expect Mike McDaniel to not survive this season. I don't think that's too crazy of a take, right? And I also expect, Chris Greer to get fired. Maybe I hope he will. Maybe I don't expect it because they've just not seemingly been in the mood to fire him, regardless of how poorly he does. So I guess we'll see there. But yeah, this season's already such a clusterfuck, and it's probably only going to get worse. The one silver lining I saw, yes, the Dolphins have lost almost all of their games this season, but they've lost to teams that are pretty good. Buffalo, maybe the best team in the league. Then Patriots, surprisingly good. Panthers, surprisingly decent, especially at home, which is where the Dolphins played them. And obviously, the Chargers are very good. Lost to the Jets. Well, or rather, we beat the Jets. The Jets are bad. So we should have beaten the Jets. We thought the Colts weren't going to be good. The Colts are actually very good with Daniel Jones. So maybe it's a scheduling thing. Maybe they'll have a run. They'll finish mediocre. But I'm not going to get my hopes up because I've had my hopes up far too often with this team. And they always manage to not show up when it's most needed. So Miami Dolphins fans, let me know your thoughts about this one. Are you as upset as me to the point of almost being despondent? This is it's sad. Go check out my work on Dolphins Talk, where I went more in depth of players throwing each other, or rather, Tua throwing people under the bus, Mike McDaniel throwing people under the bus, and how the team is on the edge of disaster. We're right there. Another loss or two, and we're probably going over the cliff. So check that out. That's dolphinstalk.com. Search for the writer, Brian Marr. Other than that, if you enjoyed this, please check out our main channel, Wicked Good Everything, where we got new videos coming out every single week, as well as our other channels, which are Those Fake Nerds, which is nerd and pop culture news, and Better Radio, which is our podcasting channel. Also, we have a new channel. It's October. It's spooky season. We got a very spooky channel called Wicked Scary for you to check out, where we cover cryptids and urban legends. So please go check that out. Just started trying to grow it. Really proud of what we've put out there so far. So yeah, other than that, thank you so much for checking out this episode, and I will see you in the next one.